Welcome back to A Game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah. I write books and occasionally read them too, and this is just a little weekly vlog. Now, if you're new here, I have 2 books out currently. I have A Little Piece of Magic and its sequel, From Witches and Wolves. The details for that are in the description down below. Now, it's Monday. I'm gesturing with the Apple pencil because I am currently editing this week's vlog. Well, last week's vlog, to put it out today. And I wasn't going to because I just had no energy at work, but I've come home, I've recharged, so I've gained some spoons. So we're working on that. And then I do have another vlog that I want to get edited and scheduled for hopefully a Friday release, I want to say, because I like my vlogs on the Monday for the week before, so I think the extra videos do work nicely on the Friday. So that's that. So plans for this week: I did get a date for my Remarkable to be delivered. That's happening Wednesday, so we will be able to finally put this where it's supposed to be. And I've tried to make a start on draft 1 of book 3 of Magic, and since I'm not doing rough draft challenge, I will tell you the title. The third book in the Magic series is going to be called, and drumroll, Into Darkness. Oh, Into the Darkness. I think it's Into the Darkness. So I wrote like 2 sentences of the first draft because the brain was not braining at work. A couple of reasons why, but let's just put it down to chronic illness. Fun. So there's that, and I do also have the draft 2 of Rise of the Rider to edit. So unfortunately this year I'm not doing rough draft challenge just because I've had too much on, and I think I would be compromising myself somewhere along the line. So that's that. I'm going to edit the videos. I thought I had something in my pocket, but yes, I'm going to edit the videos and then we will just go from there. So I shall see you soon. So it's now Wednesday. I apologise. I did not feel like vlogging yesterday. I did sort of get one time lapse of me prepping my nails. Fortunately, the blue ones I had on, I forgot to prep my nails properly, so the gel just peeled off. So we have some pink and like a plum kind of colour going on. This is not an iPad pencil. I bought a Remarkable tablet. This is paper. This is just a Remarkable 2, and all I'm doing at the moment is just transferring my handwritten notes from this notebook into this one for, oh, have I told you the title? For Into the Darkness, which is book 3 of the From A Little Piece of Magic series, which is my currently there are 2 books out: A Little Piece of Magic, From Witches and Wolves, I'm sure I've said this before, but plug. It's available on Amazon exclusively, Kindle Unlimited, normal ebook, and also in the physical paperback copy. The links are down below. So it has a case, but yes, I saw one that looked like a notebook cover and I had to get it. So yes, tonight's plan involves transcribing notes and then making progress on riders. I think I'm like halfway through chapter 18 maybe. Word count wise, I think I'm like 40,000, I'm not sure, and I'm not going to be sure until I finish the draft. But to stop me focusing on it, I'm not going to think about it. So we're going to, like I say, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to get some dragon work done, and yeah, I will come back to you when I'm thinking of what to do. It is Thursday. I am finally working on Rise of the Riders. I've said I'd be working on this like every day. No, too high. That'll do. So yes, I am knocking things off the bookcase. But it is Thursday. I'm finally working on Rise of the Riders. I've said I've been looking at doing this all week, but things have just got in the way. But I've got like 2.5 words, 250 words. Well, it's 268, but we're not concentrating on word count right now. So I did that. So the plan is to just knock as much of Riders out as possible. It would be nice to get a full chapter, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, because I think this is one that is probably on the shorter side in the first draft, so might be a bit of work that needs done to bulk it up and add things. But I'm excited. I am still very much enjoying this work, this project, and I can report that I've started the first draft of Into the Darkness, which is Magic Book 3. I'm writing that on my new Remarkable tablet, and I'm very much enjoying that. I like that I'm not worried about running out of space. That scrolly up just seems to go on forever. It did take a little bit longer than I thought last night, to get the outline onto a page, but I finished it this morning and then was able to copy over the first part of the first chapter that I'd scribbled in the notebook. So we are free to work on edits. So that's that. I do have to answer the text my sister's just sent about what we're having for tea. We're getting a Domino's possibly. So I will do that, and then I will come back to you if something interesting happens. So it's now Saturday, it's about 6:25, and I am only just sitting down to update you now. Reason being, I just got really into the writing, well, editing. I just finished editing chapter 24. It's like 5 pages, so it's 2,200-ish words. Again, we're not concentrating on the word count in this draft. We're just concentrating on the quality of the words. So that means some chapters are getting, well, some sections are being cut, some are being changed, some are being added to. So it's all good. Ignore this. So I did just want to quickly do a little wrap up of my month's reading. I was going to do this in a separate vlog, but I only read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, so I figured we would actually, stamp the ones I wanted to keep as well. So the first, when I get this open, we go. So the first book that I read this month, well, in April, not March, we're in April now, Hannah. The first book I read in March was actually an ebook. I read The Final Strife by Sarah Eloifi. I can remember how I do this. And I really enjoyed that one. If you weren't aware, The Final Strife is a Marshall-inspired, well, it's a dystopian-esque fantasy, I would say. There we go. And it follows our main character. Again, it's been a while since I've read these, so names may escape me, especially if it was just a mid-book. So we follow our main character, Sila, who is... So basically, in this world, you have 3 factions. You have one, which is the red-blooded people. They are the ruling class. They have magic. You have the blue-blooded class, the dusters, who don't have magic and are kind of like the working class, second-class citizens. And then you have the ghostlings, who have clear blood, who are basically treated like slaves. They are the most hard done to. Major trigger warnings for pregnancy loss. Well, it's not pregnancy loss. It is death in pregnancy. Mentioned on page, but not too graphic. But just be aware going in, that it does touch on a cesarean done on a dead woman. To be aware of that going in if that is something you are sensitive to. But there's also drug use and a lot of trauma. So Sila is what's known as a stolen. She is I think the red-blooded were called embers. She is an ember masquerading as a duster, because when she was born, I cannot remember the name of the rebel alliance. Yes, we are quoting Star Wars. But the rebels of this world stole, I think it's 12 children, 6 dusters, 6 embers, to try and get embers, raise embers who have duster hearts. So these are people who have seen the oppression of the dusters and are trying to, and the idea is that they go back into Ember society and claim their birthright. Of course, it doesn't quite go to plan. So all of the duster babies who were placed with Ember families were killed, apart from one, because it would not look good upon that Ember family in society if it was found out that they were affected. I enjoyed this. I think now it's starting to fade a little bit, but I am intrigued enough. In the sequel, I did buy, funny story, I actually bought the Battle Drum first on paper copy, thinking it was the first book. So I do want to read that at some point. Then we have my first and only DNF for the month, which is A Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. And I think I set myself up not to like this one, because I've got rid of all my Grishaverse books apart from this one. I wanted to give it a try, but I think because I'd said I'm probably going to read this and get rid of it. I think my brain sort of went, yeah, let's not even attempt it. I don't know what it was, I just couldn't get into it. I did try for at least 50 pages. Normally I try for 100, but I just couldn't do it. Which is a shame, because I do normally enjoy Bardugo's writing. I have Ninth House and Hellbent just underneath you, and I really enjoyed those. So I think her YA, at least the Grisha verse, is over for me. I think it just might be a bit too long running of a series. Now, the rest of the books we are keeping, so bear with. That was chocolate going flying, and now everything's all dusty. But I read and accidentally destroyed Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett, and you can tell because I've brought this one down, we are keeping both. So we'll pop them there. So because Map of the Other Worlds is a sequel, I can't really talk too much about it. Oh, this feels wrong. It's so satisfying at the same time. So I can't really talk about what goes on in here other than it is a continuation of what happens in this one. Oh, that is cool. I do like that. I like that a lot. Is it tough? Okay, I think I need practice. But yes, we are keeping this one. So before I get too distracted again. Oh, yeah, nice clean page. Put it on the nice clean page. So if you went away, the Emily Wilde series is a cozy light academia cottage core almost, following our scholar Emily, who is in London, and she goes off. In the first book, she's wanting to categorise all the fae that she's come across in one big collection, an encyclopedia, and in the second, she's trying to map the world of fairy. And she is helped along in this by Wendell Bambleby. He is a golden retriever of a man. He's off. If I did book boyfriends, I think Wendell would be top of the list. This is going to turn into a gush, but it's so cute, so cozy, and just everything you want in a fairy story. It doesn't focus on the fairies. It doesn't focus on the fairies. It doesn't really even focus on the plot, I don't think. It's just Emily falling in love with Wendell. Okay, you kind of knew where that was going. This is a romance, and it is just so cute. It's told in diary form, and every so often something happens to Emily where she ends up leaving her diary and Wendell writes in it, and it is hilarious when she's reading back to see that. But yes, I really enjoyed that one. I can't remember what the next one's called. Is it Compendium of Lost Tales or something like that? But yes, I will be getting round to that at some point. Then we have, this is in no particular order because I can't actually, we'll do it in order. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Now, confession, I originally read this on Kindle Unlimited, and I was debating on getting a physical copy, but this is just gorgeous. I have to admit, I love this edition, so we are stamping it because it's definitely a keep. But I do think, where should we stamp it? We'll stamp it on the dedication page because it's cute. So I think everybody at this point knows that When the Moon Hatched is a very hard book to try and categorize, because it is a very winding plot where it doesn't seem like a lot is happening, but the further in you get, yeah, quite a bit actually happens. And I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more the second time round because I was able to put things into perspective. I was able to, with knowing what happens next, I was able to put the pieces together that little bit sooner. And I'm so glad I did. This is a very expansive world. There is a trigger warning. Yes, she has a full list of trigger warnings at the back. That are, I'd say, fairly accurate for the book. Again, not a lot actually affects me reading wise, but just be wary that that is quite a heavy book in terms of some of the topics. And after reading that, I was craving something cozy. So this, I think, is the ultimate cozy romance, cozy fantasy. I don't think it started the genre, because I think that is something that Terry Pratchett did really well with Discworld. It had that, it has a similar vibe to it. So yes, this is a keep. I think I read this in like 1 or 2 sittings. It's a very cute story in which we follow Viv, who is an orc. Can you see? Can you see? I love it. But we follow Viv, who is, it's very D&D coded. We follow Viv, who is a barbarian orc who just wants to settle down because she's getting old and she wants to retire and enjoy what is left of her life. And doing so, she sets up a coffee shop in a world where coffee is not a thing. How can we live without coffee? But she introduces it and it is such a perfect story. Now, I can't actually remember the first time I had coffee, but I'd imagine it felt like that book. It is a hug of a book. It's a hug and a, like good coffee is. It's a hug and a mug. So, as much as it pains me to admit that I'm keeping most of what I read, I'm glad about that. And we have actually used a Christmas present for the first time since I got it. I'm not going to be able to just put this back here. So yes, I will put When the Moon Hatched on its place on the shelf and get back to writing. It is Double Down Day as well, so I mean, I'm not tracking what I'm doing too much, but I think I have done good so far. I'm just working my way through it. That's all I can do. So it's Sunday, it's about 3 o'clock and I have been working hard. I hit my midpoint last night and I'm now on chapter 28. I'm about halfway through that chapter, I would say, just over maybe. And because it is Sunday, I am going to allow myself a look at the overall word count just to see where we are. And it is just shy of 66,900. It's about 66,890 if you want to be precise. And I think, off the top of my head, I think that is bigger than the manuscript from Witches and Wolves. I don't know if it's bigger than Magic, but it's getting chunky, and I am not bothered because this is a longer story. There's more to be said. Rose's story is longer than Riley's at this point. I have also been working on my cross stitch. So it's been a very productive weekend actually. I know I said I was trying to give myself at least one day where I wasn't writing, but I've been feeling inspired this week, so I'm going to run with it. So that being said, like I said, it is Friday, it's a Sunday, and it's about 3 o'clock. I think I want to make this the last chapter that I'm working on, but we shall see what happens, and I will let you know probably tomorrow at this point in the new vlog. But I've done actually quite a lot this week. I don't know exactly how much because I'm not tracking anything, I'm just going with the flow, but yeah, I've actually done a lot this week, and I did manage to get in a little wrap up in this vlog as well, which I was not expecting, but I'm not mad at. And I think just for the sake of actually finishing a vlog, I will end it now and leave you with some pretty time lapses of me working for the rest of the afternoon. So with that, it's the end of the video. Give it a like if you like it, and hit that subscribe button, and you'll see this and talk about this in whatever comes next. Bye.